How you doing, everybody? Matt Dinerman here in the Oaklawn Today studios, out of the starting gate, episode 2 this season. Last week I was a little bit under the weather, so we had to take a week off, but we're back at it. However, with that missed time, we got a lot of ground to cover, 2 weeks worth of content here. So without further ado, let's get to it. We're going to talk about all the stakes that we've run so far here at Oaklawn, followed by a number of rising stars that we could see in prominent stakes races later on in the meet. We've got upcoming stakes for this week we're going to discuss, and finally, a Denny's Clocker pick of the week. So without further ado, let's get to the analysis right away. We're going to get right through this. We start on opening day Friday. Let's go back in time a little bit to December 12th on opening day. Race number 8 on the program was the Advent Stakes for 2-year-old sprinters at 5.5 furlongs. Always our opening day stake each and every year here at Oaklawn. And we saw the Peter Miller trained Dirty Rich get the job done. Ramon Vasquez, this was one of 4 wins for him on opening day. He was aboard. Dirty Rich got an 89 buyer for this performance here. Defeated the favorite, Spun DMC for Randy Morris, who didn't have the greatest break, made an early move, and then got a little bit tired late in the game, flattened out to third. Dirty Rich, nice effort, went gate to wire here. He has routed before, going 2 turns on the grass in California, and didn't do as well as his sprint races. From a couple of sources, they have indicated that the connections are leaning towards running Dirty Rich in a Kentucky Derby points race going 2 turns. To me, I think this horse is a 1-turn horse. He reminds me a lot of Kale's Angel. Last year won the Advent, also coincidentally trained by Peter Miller. I just feel this horse might be better at that 1 turn, going to the lead, letting him get in a fast, high cruising speed and keep going all the way. I just don't know if this horse wants to route. It'll be interesting to see how he takes the route. He is nominated for the Renaissance Stakes in early January. That's next week, but from what I'm hearing, the connections are leaning towards going those 2 turns. So we'll see if he's in a Derby points race, or maybe if they do decide to keep him sprinting. Either way, we will see him in a stake next time out. That's Dirty Rich, winner of the Advent Stakes here at Oaklawn on opening day. The first Saturday of the meeting we saw on December 13th featured some of our best sprinters. This was a salty group of runners with Skelly, Banishing, Tejano Twist, and a shipper, Roll On Big Joe, to take on those big guns who have won here at Oaklawn before. Roll On Big Joe, this was his Oaklawn debut. Grade 3 winner in California, had done some really good work for trainer Bob Hess Jr., and he beat them all. He got the job done. Let's take a look at this replay here. Roll On Big Joe, he's number 6 in this race. A 101 buyer for this win in the Ring the Bell. From Bob Hess Jr. Himself, speaking to Oaklawn Media, he says that the connections are thinking about staying at Oaklawn and running through our sprint series here. Of course, the last race of the sprint series is in April, the Count Fleet, a $500,000 grade 3. Roll On Big Joe, certainly fast enough to be very, very competitive in these sprint series races here at Oaklawn. So Roll On Big Joe, that one we're probably going to see more than just this time here in Hot Springs. Also breaking news out of that race, Skelly, of course, the king of Oaklawn as we call him. Him and Whitmore basically battle for that position. Skelly's been retired, a 7-year-old gelding who earned over $2 million. Most of those wins that he had actually came at Oaklawn. 10 of the 12 wins came here at Oaklawn, and he was a win machine. Won the Count Fleet handicap a couple of times, won all of our sprint stakes here. The Lake Hamilton, he won 3 years in a row. He also won the King Cotton in 2024. Skelly had a great career. We will remember him for his brilliantly fast speed and his runaway wins against his foes. So Skelly, again, reported last week that after that run here in the Ring the Bell, he has been retired as a 7-year-old, won 12 races and 25 starts with 8 other in-the-money finishes. So congratulations to Skelly, who had a phenomenal racing career. We go to the first Sunday of the meeting, Counting Stars for Mark Cass. He got the job done in the Astral Spa overnight. As you take a look at this replay here, she's number 6 in this race, a daughter of Honor AP here, earned a 77 buyer. She is entered this week. We'll talk about that in a little bit here, but Counting Stars in this race for 2-year-old fillies, which have never won a sweepstakes, going 2 turns. Thought this was a really nice win. Her first career win was salty, and it was a good-looking win there, and she easily defeated her company in a maiden race, then came back and did not run well, but she rebounded after that poor effort in Lifetime start number 2. Speaking to some of her connections, I saw a few of the owners, a group from West Point Thoroughbreds who are co-owning with this filly. They told me they feel that she's better going 2 turns, and we're going to see her this weekend at 2 turns. But again, we'll talk about that in a second. I also want to note the runner-up finisher in this race, Walk Away Kay. She's an Arkansas bred, and I thought she ran a fantastic second, given she was running against Open Company. So I would imagine with that in mind, right now as of today, she's the very, very, very early favorite for the Rainbow Mist Stakes on April 3rd, which of course is the big goal for 3-year-old Archie-bred fillies towards the end of the year. So those are 2 runners we want to watch out for as we progress in this meeting here. That was week 1 stakes races. Then we go to week 2. Dreamin' Blue, he won the Silks Overnight Stakes for 3-year-old sprinters, which have never won a sweepstakes. This was a big effort from him. Here's the replay here. He got a 98 buyer for this effort here. He decimated his foes for trainer Randy Morse, and we saw him get a big number when he broke his maiden here last season at Oaklawn Park. So the talent's always been there. They tried him in a couple different things, turf, going long, but clearly he is a dirt sprinter, and another thing that's clear is he really likes Oaklawn Park. He is one that I would imagine at some point we're going to see in an open stakes race here at Oaklawn. So we wanted to note him. Dreamin' Blue is a very fast horse that just continues to progress, going 1 turn on the dirt. Our big weekend stake on Saturday was the Tinsel Stakes. Rattle and Roll was very, very impressive there in the Tinsel. Of course, a horse that has been all over the country and even around the world. He won in Saudi Arabia, prepping there for the Saudi Cup last year. Earned a 101 buyer for this decisive win. And as you can see in the replay, Joel Rosario, I mean, he didn't even shake the reins at this horse. Much classiest against this group. This is not the strongest field compared to what he's seen. He won the Grade 2 Clark in 2024, but Rattle and Roll got a big-time confidence booster. He hadn't won in about 5 or 6 races, so an older horse that knows what they're doing, at some point they can lose confidence if they don't win races. So this was a really good starting point heading into 2026, along with getting that confidence booster for trainer Kenny McPeak, who, by the way, you got to watch his horses. They are firing on all cylinders at all levels he's competed at so far this Oaklawn season. Finally, the Poinsettia Stakes, our most recent stake this past Sunday for filly and mare sprinters. I think the bigger storyline than the actual winner was the fact that the big favorite, Hillarito, breaking from the 2-hole, broke very poorly out of the gate. Just stumbled a little bit, lost about 3/4 of a length, and then to a length and a half early on in the race, and just could never recover. She's one that likes to be very close to the pace, and she ran 5th off the board as the heavy favorite. But the winner of this race, take away nothing from her. Her name is Jersey Pearl, shipping in from Kentucky for trainer Darren Miller and owner Silverton Hill Stable. Won this one at 5-1, got the upset for Francisco Arrieta, last year's jockey champion here at Oaklawn. The Poinsettia Stakes, there it was, the result with Jersey Pearl getting the win, and Darren Miller in the winner's circle after the race, noting to our track analyst Nancy Holthus that he is expecting to bring this gal back here to Oaklawn for more stakes races down the road as we progress through the filly and mare dirt sprint division. So those were all of our stakes races here at Oaklawn the past 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of our season here at Oaklawn. And now we move on to our next segment, Rising Stars. We have a number of younger horses and also horses that are prepping for older stakes down the road. We saw a number of them this past week and the week prior, and we're going to talk about these Rising Stars here. We've got quite a few of them, so here we go. Let's get down to business. Decode, he was probably everybody's talk of the town, not only here in Hot Springs, but also all around the country. Decode was blowing up social media with his effort. Let's take a look at it. This, I mean, you couldn't have been more impressive than this. Race 4 on December 14th. Potential rising star here in Decode, a son of Speightstown. He earned a 99 buyer for this 8 1/4 length win in Sunday's 4th race. That's the first Sunday of the meet. As you can see, Christian Torres was aboard, and what was really impressive not only was his speed, but the fact that Christian basically wrapped up on him late. This horse won with more in the tank. His gallop out was very solid. A homebred from owner Tom Durant that he actually bought back at a sale for $775,000. This horse here clearly has speed and clearly has talent. The question is, what are they going to do next with him? Are they going to sprint him or are they going to route him? Well, according to multiple outlets, he will be contesting a number of horses in the Southwest Stakes at the end of January, going 2 turns in a mile and a 16th. He's similar to Dirty Rich. I think he probably has a better chance to route maybe than Dirty Rich does. But at the same time, I wonder if maybe this horse going 2 turns, just second time out, it's going to be a lot to ask of him. He's going to have to face quality horses along with horses that are proven routers. So I think a lot of people are going to be paying attention to this horse going 2 turns to see if he takes to the 2 turns. If it were me, just as a handicapper, I would be a little bit weary of betting this horse first time going 2 turns. But there's no doubt about he's got talent, and he is one that a lot of people are paying attention to further down the road into the Kentucky Derby Trail. And also, of course, even if he doesn't really take to the 2 turns, he can still cut back and be a very solid sprinter. So Decode, one we've got to watch. A rising star who's an older horse that really caught the attention of many race watchers around the country was Lipsay Bliss from last Sunday's 9th race on December 20th. Let's take a look at this replay here, and we're going to look at the start first. As you look at this horse breaking out of the gate, there was a little bit of bumping between horses, and as you can see right here, Christian Torres lost one of the irons. His foot came out of the irons, and this horse was well behind, and when that happens, a jockey is trying to balance themselves, and usually horses are slowing down a little bit because the jockey's bouncing around on him. The jockey maybe has the reins in an awkward position. They're trying to get their foot back in the stirrup, and after that, usually it's a tall task for a horse to win a race like this or even hit the board, but let's take a look at this stretch run here. I mean, you can't even see him on the screen early on the far turn. But eventually he creeps in, cuts the corner. I thought Christian made a great move to just save ground rather than try to go outside. He said, we've got one chance of winning. It's to save ground and to not go too wide. Came right up the rail and, believe it or not, won this race in a dead heat. It was the first dead heat of the meet. Gold sweep in the lime green, dead heating for the win with Lipsay Bliss. I mean, that was as impressive of a performance as any older sprinter can give, given the start. And he's a horse that, even though they routed him many times, his best races, his maiden race and also his 2-back race where he got a big speed figure cutting back in distance, were sprinting. So I think Robbie Medina, who trains, has cracked the code with this horse. He wants 1 turn. Obviously a horse that wants to be sitting off, making 1 run in these 1-turn races, but Lipsay Bliss is one we're going to watch for next time out. He's going to have to face tougher company. Hopefully he gets a better trip as well. We get to the Arkansas-bred rising stars. We've got quite a few of them here, so let's get to it. Honey's to Blame is the first. Let's take a look at this replay from race 5 on December 13th. He earned a 67 buyer for a 5-length score here. Had run on the grass in prior races, ran once on the dirt, and Honey's to Blame did not run well that day. It was also his first start. Why this is significant, this maiden win, is because Honey's to Blame, with this win in mind, down the road is probably going to be one of the favorites in the Rainbow Stakes on April 4th. We talked about the Rainbow Mist for 3-year-old filly Archie-breds. The Rainbow Stakes on the same day for Archie-bred 3-year-old sprinters, and Honey's to Blame with this big win here would tab himself as one of the top younger Archie-breds here on track we've got. And on top of that, this was a type of performance we don't always see with the Arkansas breds. This was a big race for an Arkansas bred younger horse. So Honey's to Blame for Kenny McPeak. Manny Esquivel had the call. Surely he'll be back aboard next time. Honey's to Blame is one that we're going to watch out for, especially later on in the meet when the Rainbow Stakes comes upon us. Getting by an older horse, he really stunned me with this huge win against Open Company Starter Allowance non-3 runners. This was a massive effort for him. It was on December 13th, race 3. He got a 92 buyer for this race. He almost won by 10. 9 3/4 was the final winning margin. Again, a non-3 starter allowance race. All these runners have won twice. They had yet to win 3 times. That changed for Getting By. He is still eligible for an Arkansas-bred first-level allowance. So I would imagine if he wants to run in that, he's going to be low odds, and I don't think anybody's going to beat him if he runs anywhere close to this race. The February 21st No Double Breeders' Championship Stakes for Archie-bred sprinters would be on the table for this horse. It's probably a long-term goal. David Jacobson, the trainer, Christian Torres had the call on this afternoon for Getting By, who was sensational in winning race 3 on December 13th. And while we're on these older Archie-breds, and we're talking about the No Double Breeders' Championship, let's talk about 2 horses that I would imagine are pointing for that race as well. They're also older Arkansas-bred sprinters. And we'll talk about Bohemian Bow and Navy Seal. If you're an Oaklawn fan, you know these horses. Let's talk about them because they finished 1-2 and they weren't far apart in an allowance race the other day. This race was on December 20th. It was race number 4 on the card. Separated by a nose were these two. And 87 buyers for both of them because they were so close together at the wire, it was hard to give them a different speed figure. I think Bohemian Bow, he got a clear lead this day, and he ended up getting a narrow edge at the finish over Navy Seal. But he had the edge, I think, here because he got a clear lead. Navy Seal was coming off a layoff, just like Bohemian Bow. But Navy Seal didn't need to win this race. Bohemian Bow had a much stronger foundation of workouts. I think next time around, when Navy Seal runs against Bohemian Bow, he's going to be tough to hold off. So Navy Seal, Bohemian Bow, 1-2. Implications for the No Double Breeders' Stake. That'll be on February 21st, so later on in the season. But we've got Getting By, Bohemian Bow, Navy Seal, all three Arkansas-bred sprinters who are very fast, very talented, and really have stamped themselves early on in the meet as the ones to beat in that division. So those are all our rising stars. We talked about the stakes races the first 2 weeks. Now we get into this week. We've got 3 really fun days for you. The day after Christmas, we're running Friday, December 26th, Saturday, December 27th. Of course, we have a 10-race program as well. That's our all 2-year-old day. And then on Sunday, we also have a 10-race program. Each day first post is 12:30. And let's talk about the feature each and every day here. We start with Friday's race number 8, the Pippin Stakes for older filly and mare routers here. 6 runners are entered in the race. Standout sensation, she's probably the one to beat, 9-5 on the morning line for trainer Tom Amos, winner of the Turn Back the Alarm Stakes at Aqueduct in New York. And standout sensation, she's won a few races in a row, and we talk about this with fillies and mares. When they're going good, they're going really good. And when they get confident, they just keep winning, especially ones with class. Standout sensation, she's the one to beat. She should be showing speed in this small field. Rodolphe Brissett has a couple of entrants in here that are intriguing, I think. Penoir, she's a stakes winner herself, a minor stakes winner for the Brissett barn, and also Queen Azteca. She actually won the UAE Oaks in Dubai earlier this year as a younger 3-year-old filly. She's run a couple times against tougher company here in the States. Restricted 3-year-olds, has not been able to hit the board in both races, but coming out of a grade 1, the Mother Goose, I would imagine Queen Azteca, even though she's in against older, is running against an easier group, all things considered. So those 3, I think, are the ones to beat in the Pippin Stakes. We go to the Saturday's 8th race, the Year's End Stakes. Of course, Saturday is our all 2-year-old day. For all 2-year-olds, about to turn 3 on January 1st, one of my favorite days here at Oaklawn. You're looking at a lot of horses that maybe have some potential to be in stakes as 3-year-olds. Maybe a couple of them are on the Kentucky Oaks and Kentucky Derby Trail. And in this race, here's the field. Pretty solid field assembled this year for the Year's End Stakes. I actually think this is a much stronger renewal for the Year's End than we saw last year. Looking at this race, we talked about her earlier, Counting Stars, who, of course, is a stakes winner already, looking to become a 2-time stakes winner. Wheeling back quickly for Mark Cassie after that win in the Astral Spa overnight on opening week. And we saw Counting Stars sprinting her first few races. Now she's getting to the route game. She is a bunch of route pedigree. And as I mentioned, the owners seem to think that maybe she'll be a little bit better going 2 turns. So the question, I think, is not the class. I think she fits with this field. The question is, A, can she route? She should be able to. And B, is she going to bounce off her last race? Of course, the bounce theory suggesting that a horse runs a big race, they come back quickly, or at least come back in an amount of time to where maybe they're not 100% back to their 100% effort off their big win, and they regress. So Counting Stars, she is going to be one of the favorites in this race. I think Paving's interesting for Tom Amos. 2 for 2 to kick off her career sprinting. And I feel like she's one that probably will be all right routing as well. She's come from off the pace in sprint races, so she could be a little bit more prominent in a route race. She's got route pedigree as well. One price I like, let's take a look at the replay from New York here. Newtown Pike, 15-1 on the morning line for Lindsay Schultz. I don't know if she's my top pick yet, but she's certainly in contention for that. Newtown Pike, first out win for Lindsay Schultz. Now, this race fell apart a little bit, but you see her here with a flying finish late in the game. Just got up under Samuel Marin. Abel Cedillo is going to ride here at Oaklawn this time around. Second time out for Newtown Pike. Not only did I like this finish, two other things. One, Lindsay Schultz doesn't win that often first out. She comes from the Shug McGahee School of Training, so she typically gets horses little by little, getting them good in condition. They improve with time. The fact that she was able to strike right off the bat tells me that she's got ability 100% right away. We know she's got talent. But rather than sprinting again, she's going to the route game here. So obviously they feel the connections that this filly will want more ground here. I also like the fact in that last New York race, two next out winners out of there, including the runner-up finisher who came back to win by open lengths in a maiden special weight in New York. So that tells me she comes out of a quality field as well. That's Newtown Pike, a price you want to look out for in the Year's End Stakes. And finally on Sunday, race number 8, the Oaklawn Anywhere Overnight Stake. Remember, every single day here at the Holiday Meet, we have a stake, and this is our stake on Sunday to close things out. Modo for trainer Tom Amos. She won a race here last year very, very impressively. She's very, very fast. The question is, can anybody beat her? There's a lot of speed in this race, so if she loses, I don't think it's going to be because of the class. I think she's the fastest runner in the race. The question is, can anybody beat her from off the pace? Because I think if you go out with her, it's going to be tough for you to keep up. But if anybody beats her, it's going to be because they go too fast on the lead, she goes to the front, duels into submission, or at the very least duels enough to where late in the game she gets a little bit tired and someone comes and tags her. I think she'll be pretty tough in this race, and she should get bet pretty hard. That is the Oaklawn Anywhere Overnight Stakes. So we've gone over a lot here on this show, but we've got one more segment to go. Denny's Clocker Pick of the Week. Let's talk about race 9 on Friday, a contender in here. Max Got Excited, number 10. In this race for trainer Brett Creighton. Entered off a layoff here, and Max Got Excited. We saw this runner last May winning the Bachelor Stakes for 3-year-olds sprinting. I will caution, sometimes these horses that are sprinters, they work well in the mornings, especially ones with quality. And this one has quality, but I like this work here. This horse showed a lot of energy, good finish down the lane, and look at those ears. They're pricked up. He's happy. He looks like he wants to do more, and he's galloping out really well. I think this horse is working like a horse that's ready to run and ready to run a good race. I love the fact that in the Bachelor Stakes, he showed he can come from off the pace. We saw him very speedy earlier in his career. In the Bachelor last year, we saw him sit off, run on, and win, so he's versatile in that respect. Max Got Excited, number 10, in race number 9 on Friday is Denny's Clocker Pick of the Week. Remember, we have 3 racing days this week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, including that Friday, the day after Christmas. First post each day is 12:30. Really looking forward to Saturday's card as well for 2-year-olds. And then Sunday, good quality fields and good field sizes per usual here at Oaklawn Racetrack. Folks, if you like this show, or you like what I'm doing here, the content, or you'd like to see new things on this show, make sure to like and subscribe to our Oaklawn YouTube page. Write a comment in the comments section. Let us know what you think so we can keep doing these shows and producing content for you that you're interested in. It's going to be a great week of racing. Next week on Out of the Starting Gate, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but next week, Megan Burgess from Fox Sports' America Day at the Races. We've seen her here at Oaklawn doing a great job covering our races here. She became a full-time employee for Fox Sports America's Day at the Races earlier this past month, I believe, and she's doing a great job. She's going to be our guest on the show next week here, and Megan's going to have a lot of good things to say here on Out of the Starting Gate. That'll be next week's episode. But for now, have a great holiday week, and we will see you Friday for more live racing here at Oaklawn. Have a good one.